Mass chaos and calamity continues to erupt in the Middle East, and now we're seeing photographs and videos surface of the devastating consequences of Iran's retaliatory strikes from the past 12 hours. We have now learned that at least one person was killed in Kuwait's international airport terminal. At least 63 people were injured in Iran's retaliatory strikes. We can see these photos and videos of Kuwait's international airport terminal, which was destroyed by Iran's retaliatory strikes. We also see radar images which show that Iran was also able to destroy a lot of U.S. military assets in the connected U.S. Air Force base, which is connected to the Kuwait commercial airport. We're also seeing that the U.S. 5th Naval Fleet Depot and the base over there for the 5th Naval Fleet was hit by Iran as well. This comes at a time when CENTCOM is denying that all of this transpired. According to CENTCOM, Kuwait, Bahrain, and the United States collectively were able to intercept all of the Iranian retaliatory drones and ballistic missiles. Once again, we have learned, and this doesn't come as a surprise, but it is deeply saddening to see that CENTCOM lies about everything. We told you about these devastating strikes yesterday. We were able to see that the ballistic missiles and the drones from Iran appear to be hitting their targets, despite what CENTCOM was saying. And now we're actually seeing the consequences of that in photos and videos that are undeniable. Even Kuwait had to acknowledge through its foreign ministry the casualties and what actually transpired. We're seeing a lot of statements come out of Middle East countries who are saying, well, something needs to be done. We need to take action. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump is right there, frozen, doing nothing and claiming that he's having conversations with the Ayatollah, which are not taking place. Donald Trump claiming that there are deals happening, which are not taking place. The United States has never looked weaker. Just to remind you of the sequence of events, Iran retaliated against United States interests in the region and countries that were assisting the United States after Donald Trump once again violated the ceasefire with Iran. So a tanker was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. As you know, the United States has that blockade set up in that area, and the United States fired with Hellfire missiles and destroyed a tanker that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. The United States said this was defensive in nature to enforce the blockade. Iran warned the United States, if you do that, we're going to retaliate. So Iran retaliated by striking a U.S.-backed tanker. I mean, technically it wasn't flagged in the U.S., but it was a close ally of Donald Trump. This billionaire oil magnate, shipping magnate, had this tanker off the coast of Bahrain. Iran targeted that ship, to which the United States responded by attacking Qeshm Island and Iranian assets, including telecommunications assets and radar assets there. And Iran said, okay, if you're going to attack our assets on Qeshm Island and other assets in the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to unleash a real barrage of missiles and drones to show you our capabilities. And despite the propaganda that Trump and Rubio are spewing to the American public and the world, that the Iranians don't have missiles and drone capabilities anymore, Iran said, we're going to have to teach you a lesson here, and we're going to respond with a significant degree of force. So multiple waves of ballistic missiles were sent by Iran and drone swarms sent by Iran to Bahrain and Kuwait, also some areas in northern Iraq as well. And I was showing the videos yesterday and this morning of what we saw happening. Well, now we're seeing the consequences. So here's a photo of the Kuwait International Airport Terminal. That's Terminal 1. Interestingly, that terminal was just opened 24 hours ago after being closed because it was destroyed previously during the war. Kuwait made a very big deal about the opening. It was introduced once again with much fanfare, and they showed all of the people entering and saying, look, it's safe. Please come here. That's why it was targeted by Iran as well. They knew exactly what they were doing and targeting it 24 hours after it was repaired and open. So you can see the extensive damage that was done right there. This is some fresh satellite imagery we're getting confirming the destruction of drone aircraft shelters located at the military aspect of that Air Force base. So there's a military base and then there's a commercial airport that are right next to each other there in Kuwait. And so we can see this fresh satellite imagery. You can see the destruction of a drone aircraft shelter. And also some other assets there that appear to look like military bunkers, and they may have stored airplanes or other assets of the United States and Kuwait. We were able to see last night, as noted, the missiles and the drones striking this airport, so it was a bit intriguing when CENTCOM claimed that there was absolutely no damage. This was CENTCOM's statement. An additional wave of Iranian drones attempting to attack U.S. forces in Kuwait failed to impact intended targets tonight. U.S. Central Command Air Defenses successfully downed multiple drones and ensured no American personnel or assets were harmed. I'll show you right here. This is inside Kuwait International Airport after the Iranian drone and missile attack. You can see for yourself. Let's play this clip.
هذا الحريق هذه مسيرة طاحت هني فوق أمل الكويت هذه.
Then, taking a look at Bahrain, you can see this footage right here showing the moments when an Iranian ballistic missile hit the U.S. 5th Fleet's naval support base in Bahrain over here. And so there was a strike there. And as I mentioned earlier in the day, Iran was able to strike the MSC Panaya, which belonged to this Trump oligarch shipping family, the Aponti family, and Iran precision strike on that tanker as well. As I noted, the Iranian drone strike on Kuwait International Airport killed 1, an Indian national wounded 63, causing massive devastation to that airport. We're hearing from Moshe Raza, former IRGC commander. He was like an IRGC commander for about 30 years. He's now an advisor to Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini, and he says the following: "The Strait of Hormuz is under Iran's management. We will not allow the continuation of the maritime blockade, and the escalation of tensions in Lebanon will not be tolerated either. The patience of the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran has its limits. Neither in negotiation nor in the ceasefire process will we allow America to overreach. The response to every shot and aggression will be a barrage of missiles and drones. History will not turn back, and the aggressor will be swiftly punished." In addition, we're hearing more statements from the IRGC. They posted the following: "The enemy is forced to accept the new rules that the Iranian nation and the armed forces have imposed on the field, especially regarding its management and control of the Strait of Hormuz. The resistance will continue powerfully until the complete destruction of arrogant conspiracies, the expulsion of foreigners from the Middle East, and the liberation of Jerusalem with the destruction of the Zionist regime. We will never surrender." An Iranian parliament member, Abraham Razi, writes, "Americans have shown that they understand the language of missiles better than the language of diplomats. Damn, the Navy and Aerospace Force kids of the IRGC are fired up." And then the IRGC put out more statements saying that all of Donald Trump's continued lies, that there are productive negotiations, all false. IRGC's linked Tasneem media agency, they're saying, We are not engaged in any back channel communications with the Trump regime. We have cut off all lines of communication as a result of Netanyahu's further invasion into Lebanon and as a result of the Trump regime ceasefire violations. We have no interest in any communications with the Trump regime. What you should know, go back to the report I did this morning. We are about a week or so away from the oil reserves hitting a critical limit, at which point we're going to see a massive oil shock. I think the markets are already recognizing that we're heading in that direction. That's why the markets are not looking very good today at all. We have the price per barrel of oil is shooting up. And when I say that we're very close to a supply shock of oil, once we dip below kind of internationally, that 7 billion barrel of oil area, which we're basically at right now, all of the top oil experts say what you'll probably see is at a low end, $150 per barrel to about $200 a barrel or even more. And we're heading to that place right now that we've been warning about for a while. You know, Donald Trump's been putting out statements. Trump hasn't been seen or he hasn't made any live public appearances for the past 8 days. He did do an interview with Miranda Devine of the New York Post, and he looked horrible this morning. I mean, his eyes look swollen, his hands look swollen, his legs look swollen. He looked like an absolute wreck. I'm just giving you my opinion, so make sure we recognize it's my opinion. It seems like he's had a mini stroke, in my opinion, just his condition. That's the way it looks. We will see ultimately what happened. There's a congressional hearing where Congressmember Liu has been grilling Marco Rubio on Donald Trump's declining cognitive and physical health. But Donald Trump's been putting out statements. The Ayatollah is involved in the negotiations. And like the New York Post and Donald Trump having this weird interview where the New York Post, Miranda Devine, she's like, "Are you talking to the gay Ayatollah?" And Donald Trump's like, "Yeah, we're talking to the gay Ayatollah. Things are going great. We're very close to a deal. I'll probably meet with the gay Ayatollah at some point." Why are they calling the Ayatollah gay? It's just the whole thing is very bizarre here. And it just looks so weak. I think the Middle East nations are saying, okay, the United States security umbrella is not only gone, but the United States security umbrella is an affirmative threat against us. And now we're being targeted while Donald Trump's out there engaging in this deranged fictional negotiation that's not taking place. And that while Kuwait and Bahrain are being so precisely targeted by this barrage of Iranian missiles, Donald Trump's out there just being like, things are going good. You've got Marco Rubio out there saying, war? What war? We're not, the war is over. What are you talking about? And so let me just show you what Donald Trump said. This is from this morning with everything that I just showed you. Donald Trump says Iran is a massive success right now. Here's what Trump said.
Well, one thing is working out well. You know, Venezuela was a big success. Iran's a big success. Where do you see? I mean, that'll be a very big success. We've essentially defeated the military. We'll see what happens. We're working on a deal. And if that happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, that's okay too. We'll do it the other way. But the economy.
Trump says he really wants to meet the gay Ayatollah. I'll show you this. Let's play it.
People we're dealing with, we know they're the people that are leading the country right now.
Is it the gay Ayatollah?
He's involved, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of respect for him.
So he's compos mentis? He's not sick in hospital in a coma as we've been told?
Well, I don't know. I haven't had the privilege of meeting him.
Right.
But I'm not hearing he's doing great. You're doing better.
Right.
That way he's not. If you believe the stories, he's, missing a lot of different parts.
So who's making the decisions?
Well, they say he is giving approval because that's the way it has been for a long, long time. His father and then him, I guess it's a succession. But we seem to be getting along quite well.
Would you like to meet him or meet any of the Iranians in person?
I've never thought of it, actually. It's a very good question. I'll think of it. Yeah, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to meet everybody. I'd like to meet him. We probably will meet at some point, depending on how it all works out.
And then Miranda Devine from the New York Post asks him, so Why do you keep changing your mind on everything? Like one day you say there's a deal, the next day there's war. One day you want this, the next day there's this. It's chaotic. Why are you doing that? Is that part of your plan? And Trump's like, yeah, that's exactly part of my plan. No, you just don't know what you're doing. You're a loser. You're not equipped to be anywhere near the position you hold. I don't care what political party we're from, everybody, whether you're Democrat, Independent, Republican, this guy's just, he doesn't have it. He's never had it, but he's a loser. He's a fraud. He's a criminal. He's a sexual predator. He should be nowhere near this position, but watch what he says. Let's play this clip.
And are your tactics where you say something and then change it and then do a peace deal and then break the ceasefire or whatever, is that all about trying to keep the Iranians off balance? Are you sort of messaging to them?
No.
Because people at home sometimes I hear that they feel anxious and confused.
That's good. That's good.
It's
If
good.
they're confused, then the Iranians are confused.
Right.
But no, it's just the way I am. It changes. I mean,
And then you had Netanyahu going on CNBC moments ago, and he said, my relationship with Trump is the same. Things are great. Here, play this clip.
So I was going to say, has your relationship at all shifted with him?
No. This has been a great relationship because he's been the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. And he respects me. I respect him. We always find a way to work out our differences.
And then Netanyahu was asked by CNBC, do you have common goals with Trump? Here, play this clip.
Israel, what would you do then?
I think we have common goals. Let's give a chance to achieve them.
Do you have common goals on how this war should end?
I think it's an open question because the reality is open. You can see that. I mean, things are, I know the president is weighing many options, and we keep in touch. We talk very often. We talk about
How often?
once every 2 days.
And then he's asked, well, why can't the U.S. just open the Strait of Hormuz? Let's play this clip.
He's leading a very smart policy here, but
why can't the U.S. just open the Strait of Hormuz?
well, you can, but you need ship owners who will take on the financial risk of being hit by a drone or something else. So that can always be fired from many miles away.
So that's where we are this morning. And into the afternoon, we'll keep you posted. There's a lot of developments happening right now, rapidly developing. So we'll keep you posted every step of the way. Now hit subscribe, help us get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.